Wow.
That's fired up right there. That's pretty good.
Yeah, it hurt my neck, my back, my neck and my back.
I didn't know you had it in you.
We'll talk about that later.
I like it. I like it.
Wow.
All right, I'm not running this show tonight. So
I know. I'm trying to figure out. It was such a good way to start, and then Doc threw me off there for a second.
You're welcome.
Welcome to the Convene Communities podcast.
Exactly.
With your ex-host Matt Curran, your current host Jeff Bateson, and your comedic sidekick Doc Parker. How we doing?
I'm doing good.
Yeah. Doc, you?
I'm just here for comic relief.
No, not tonight. Got to be a part of it tonight.
Nonsense.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
He was good last night on the wellness. Yeah, he had some good zingers last night. So
yeah, I wish I was on that. That would have been. I want to go back and I should say I can't wait to go back and watch it. So
exactly.
That'd be a good one. So recap me a little bit before we start.
Last night we had Josh on. Josh came on and we had another guest, AA Ron, came on. It was his first time being a guest on, but we talked about seasonal mental wellness, and seasonal mental wellness can be looked at in a lot of ways. It can be looked at actually what it sounds like, seasonal. A lot of people like me, Jeff, you're from Michigan originally, and I go to Michigan all the time. So last week was brutal to me going to Michigan and getting snowed on where it was freezing and cold and just not a good couple of hours for me.
Raw gunny.
Yeah, you could look at it like that, or you could look at it like seasons, different seasons of life. We all go through different seasons of life. So we talked through it, a lot of stuff, and it was actually really good. I enjoyed it. It was, we were joking around a lot and funny, and
right.
Had a good night. It was good. So
good. Yeah, I can't wait to go back and watch it. It's kind of prevalent right now a little bit in my world over the last few weeks. So it'll be good to go and listen to what you guys had to say. So yeah,
it was a lot of fun to do. I mean, there was a lot of great substance to it, a lot of great content, but we had fun with it also. And I think that's the key to prevention, right? Preventing going down that road. Now, sometimes there'll be situations where you can't help it, right? Situational specific items, but for the most part, we got to, like I said last night, we got to treat our brain like a muscle. We go to the gym, we work out, we don't go right back to using that muscle. We let it rest and recover. So,
right. So you're supposed to go to the gym. Did
you get muted? Did you mute him?
What did you do?
Siri.
Oh, he's like the dude from South Park. They're coming right for us.
The little person on my phone picked up thinking I said her name, so I muted everything.
Yeah.
And you're completely messed up. You sound like you said, you sound like an alien. So
Rosie the robot. Meet George Jetson. Yeah, why don't you beat it? Horrible.
That's bad.
See you in a second.
Hey, whoa.
Oh, is it better?
Yep, it's better now.
All right. We good now? All right.
There we go.
There we go.
A little bit of technical difficulties, ladies and gentlemen, but we'll be right back.
All right, let's get to the show. What are we doing?
Oh, now you're crap again.
Now you're bad.
Nope.
See you in a second.
I'm about to boot you. The band hammer.
Well, everybody, how you doing? If you're watching, ask some questions. What do you want to know? What are we here to talk about tonight? Now, are you there? Say something.
Here.
Oh, that's horrible.
It's just not good.
Totally bad.
It's really bad.
They're coming right for us.
You sound like on Charlie Brown. You sound like the teacher. You are a teacher, but
what you actually sound like is someone who's had their voice box removed due to cancer, and they have to speak through their little
that's
mechanical voice box. It's great for radio.
Say something.
Something.
Is that any better?
Darth Bateson. Excellent, Kate.
Darth Bateson. That is awesome, Kate.
That is the winner for tonight. So far.
So, am I better or no?
Yeah, now
Oh,
you're back. Now you're back. 100%.
don't move. Don't
Don't move.
move.
Hold your
I
hands
will
in the
sit
same
like this the
position.
whole
Oh,
way.
goodness.
I feel
Well,
like
that
back
would
in the
fit with
day
the
when you had to
voice.
turn the rabbit antennas. I feel like I'm
Yeah.
that guy right now or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get going here before it
Yeah.
goes
About time.
further down the rabbit hole. Jeez, oh, Pete. So Matt, we're going to talk to you tonight about Convene, the vision for Convene going forward. The 3 points, everything that we want to get established here over the next couple of months and moving forward, because we're really gaining a lot of momentum, getting a lot of steam. Not just the people that have been with us for a little while, but gaining new members, new group leaders, new community leaders. And it's getting pretty exciting. I know we had a call with Todd, and he was showing us, or excuse me, telling us about a lot of the updates that are going to be coming over the next six months or so, which is even more exciting. So I can't wait to hear a lot of the answers here. But
Yep.
I want to ask you this first. We've all heard the story, we've all heard the backstory, we know your story, we know a little bit about your story with Convene and how you started and why you started it. But um, how has, especially over the last maybe 2 years, even year, I mean, you choose, how has
Yeah.
your vision for Convene changed?
Yeah. Originally when I first started Convene way back prior to the community side of the house, it was me. I was out, I was speaking in a lot of corporations, working with them on decision making, crew resource management, leadership, team communications and stuff like that. And um, it was just me. I was doing wonderful. It was great. But the more I went out, the more I spoke, I would meet people, and people had great stories, great ideas, great thoughts, and they would take what I was talking about and tie it to their own life, their own
Hmm.
selves. So people wouldn't want to come up. If I was speaking, like again, the example I always use, which is the true example, I was at Duke University speaking in a medical conference, and people wanted to talk to me about their marriages and their relationships and parenting. They don't want to talk to me about working in a trauma center. That's what I was there to speak about. So I had that thought process and the idea of, hey, well, what if I create communities and allow people like, Jeff, you or Andy or all the people that are on here. And by the way, if you're on here, if you don't mind and you're listening and you are a community leader, put what community you are leading in the comments so people can
Hmm.
see all the great communities that we have. If you're leading more than one, make sure to add all of those. But if you don't mind doing that, because we have a lot of great communities, a lot of people are taking what they're passionate about, what their expertise is, and they're running with it. And so all we've done is now we've taken this platform, we've built a platform where anybody and everybody can go out and take what they do and really go forward and teach people and collaborate with people and grow with people. But
Can
it's
I
easy past that, and we're going to get into that. Yeah,
can I piggyback off of that real quick?
absolutely.
Interesting. Renee is in the room. He says hello to everyone. Good evening, sir. We did a podcast last night, and we had a young lady call in, and she was in the death doula program, and she asked, "Do we have advice for her how to market herself, how to get into, just what to do after she becomes a death doula?" And I asked her, I said, "Well, you know what? I have the greatest answer for you. Are you a member of Convene Communities?" She said yes. And so I said, "Well, then you have to. You have to speak to Laurel about this because she's the it, right? She
Hmm.
is the know all, the end all be all as far as I'm concerned." And she goes, "Well, she's my instructor." So I mean it comes back full circle,
Yeah,
it's
Right.
awesome.
yeah, that
Well,
collaboration piece. So yeah,
yeah, I think that's going to happen quite a bit more over the next couple of years, right? People always coming back to somebody that's on Convene. What was I don't want to call it the tagline, but what do we always say? The best set of influencers that you don't know yet.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So a tagline, and Andy, you might not know this, but I used to say Convene Communities is the best group of influencers that you've never heard of
Right.
yet,
Yep.
right? And I
Yep.
mean that. And I used to actually use Lisa Herring, who teaches veterans how to file for their Social Security and disability benefits. When most people think about influencer, what do they think about? They think about somebody who has thousands, hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of followers, right? That's what they think of. That's an
Hmm.
influencer. But I always use Lisa Herring because she makes the most money of anybody on the whole platform at Convene, teaching veterans, very niche, teaching veterans how to file for Social Security and disability benefits. And so Lisa Herring is changing lives one veteran at a time. To me, that's an influencer. You
Right.
know, she's
Yeah.
influencing lives. So you don't have to have this following of hundreds of thousands, millions of followers. You could be changing one person at a time, doing individual coaching. It doesn't matter. And that's what we've created, that platform that really
Right.
kind of allows you to do that. You know?
Yeah. Well, that's actually a really good segue into the question I'm going to ask you. So, influencers, like you said, we all think of TikTok and Instagram and Facebook, and these people have thousands of followers, or maybe they were, famous beforehand, whatever the case is. Um, but Convene does and will continue and have a lot more soon. Have a lot of influencers on a more micro level,
Mhm.
but I think, my own personal opinion, their influence is greater per person, if that makes any
Yeah.
sense. But so my question then, Matt, is how does that make Convene different? Or
Yeah.
what makes Convene different for influencers?
Yeah. So, and we can put the first slide up there, Doc. But it really, Convene is different. We're a community-centric platform. The idea is that can we go in here and can we build communities? Can we allow
Hmm.
our members to build communities? I've been Convene Community since 2014. And I want you to think about and hold the slide right there, Doc. I want you to think about the word of convene, what that means. And the definition of convene is to come together. And where do you do that? You do that in communities. So
Hmm.
a big buzzword out there, and you ask how it's changed and how things have evolved. Well, if you go over the last year or two or three, Jeff, what's the big word out there? It's communities, build communities, build communities, build communities. Well, most learning management systems out there don't allow you to build communities holistically. They allowed you to build content. They allow me to go take your content individually, but they don't allow me to collaborate inside of a collaborative environment. We'll talk about that in a minute. I want to talk about the logo though, because the logo is very important. If you look at the logo, what are those two things that come together? We call it the helix, but it's greater than and less than is what it
Hmm.
is. It's a greater than and less than sign. And so when the marketing firm came with me, Convene Communities, with that logo of greater than and less than, that's what we want to do. We want to bring people together. We all have a story. We all have something to share. We all bring something to the table. This Convene Communities is not just about Matt Curran and what Matt Curran has to say. I'm just a small piece of it. And that's where you go back to the original question you asked me about. I could have just kept this for myself and gone and worked in corporations and allowed them to use it, corporations and corporation. But why not allow you to go out and grow it with soccer, you to go out and
Right.
grow it with teachers, you to go out mentoring kids and all the things that you do. And
Yeah.
communities is the key to do that.
Well, I want to go back to what you said about other platforms, whether learning management systems or social media platforms. The ones that I've been a part of or that I know of, they allow you, yes, to build content, but in terms of your influence, really, they just allow you to gain followers.
Yep.
There's a little interaction, obviously, back and forth with Facebook. There's a little interaction back and forth with Instagram, but all it is just sort of generic information back and forth, or comments back and forth. Whereas in Convene, or with Convene, you're not just gaining followers. You're
Yeah.
you're gaining members, and you're gaining a community, and you're gaining people that want to be inside of that community and actively engage with it, and not just, hey, there's the picture, there's the words, there's the phrase, let me make a comment and move on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So,
Um,
um,
and, and that's the key. The key is collaborative communities. The key is collaboration, and that's what makes us different. We were
mhm,
on the on this Convene platform professional call a little bit earlier, and I thought Kate made a wonderful comment. She said, basically you get groups inside of the communities, get different groups inside of the communities, and we always use the example of going to the mall. So if you go to the mall, Convene is the mall. The communities are like going in stores in the mall, and then inside of the stores, inside of the mall, you have your different areas that you might go to. So you can call those areas hubs or whatever, but the key is if you're growing a community is, can I teach people? Can I bring people together? And can I have these different hubs, groups for our, what we have? Can I have these groups? Can I teach people to lead their group? Doesn't have to be thousands of people. Can I teach people to lead these small groups and contribute to the overarching community for the greater good? And then if you come in, Jeff, and you're a teacher, we'll use the teacher example. You're a teacher, but you're also a coach. Maybe there's a coaching group inside of the teacher community. I don't know.
Right.
Or maybe you teach civics. Maybe there's groups that focus on civics, or groups that focus on the mental wellness of teachers. And you're not in there just to be part of Jeff Bateson's teaching class. You go over and you join
Right.
the mental wellness for teachers group. So there's all kinds of ideas. And the idea behind it is, can we bring these collaborative communities together? And you bring a lot of expertise. Other teachers bring a lot of expertise. Can they come in and all work together and comment in there and collaborate in there and talk about all the things that are going on? And that's what's missing. If you go to other platforms, that cohesiveness, that place that's just focused on the greater good, not just on tearing people down and different things like that.
You know what I like about it is that, say, for example, you take Lisa's course. We'll just use her. You could find something like that elsewhere, I'm sure. But where are you going to get that almost immediate interaction, right? You're dealing with the person that built this course. So you're going to get that immediate feedback, and you're not going to find that anywhere else.
Yeah. Well, anywhere else you're going to find maybe the person that built the course, maybe the person that made the video make a comment, but it's going to be everybody else just making comments and not really interaction. Hey, great video, great, whatever. This is stupid. You erred here, or whatever. You wrote something wrong. You wrote something great, but there's nothing substantial about the conversation, right? And I want to go sort of back to what you were talking about, Matt. Take the teachers community for example. The teacher tribe. If school systems, but take away school systems and schools itself. But if you just have teachers or people that create content for education, and they each have groups in there, right? And let's just say, for the sake of it, we have 500 different groups in a community. At some point there's going to be overlap in terms of topic of content, but what I like to tell people is, well, that's great, because maybe I have something that I like to talk about in terms of education. Amy has something very similar, and I'm not really an expert on it. I can also say, hey, why don't you guys go over and check out Amy's stuff? Because it's a lot of the same stuff. And now we're collaborating with the same members back and forth. Whereas, in other platforms, if you're in a community, or if you're in a group in another community, it's one singular topic.
Yep.
Right. So if I Doc, this might hit home to you. Like, I'm in camping groups, right, for my camper, right? But it's the Coachman Campers group, and that's it. But there's no other real groups that are off of it. People can send me over to a different Facebook group, but I have to go outside the community. Whereas with Convene and with teachers and the community-centered approach and the collaboration approach, we're in the same community. We have similar groups, and we can share members with each other and share content and share ideas with each other.
Yeah.
So what I wanted to also ask you about on the same topic, and I know we can get to it later as well in different questions, but we've mentioned just already, Kate, Laurel, Lisa, Josh, in terms of groups, in terms of content, and there's plenty of others we're going to get to here in a second. What's making those four in particular successful with the collaboration piece?
Yeah, that's the key. That's a wonderful question, and I'm so glad you asked that. These individuals that are being successful in Convene, they're not just creating the courses for you to come in and watch their videos, and that's it. You're actually, like Doc said, you're actually collaborating, and you're actually part of it. So I'm going to use Kate as the example. She has a group in there, and it's called the Midweek Pit Stop. And the Midweek Pit Stop is a Bible study where they take different verses, and she creates what's called experiences. An experience is a course. and it is our training, whatever you want to call it. We call them experiences because the mechanism of how we learn and how we build these we learn through life experience, right? And we take a topic and we tie it through life experience. So Kate creates her experiences and she puts them out to her group. So she assigns them out to her group on Sunday. And then what she does is she has a live Zoom call on Wednesday at 12 o'clock or 12:30. It's a 30-minute Zoom call. So what ends up happening is her members between that time period, they go in and they answer the questions inside of that experience. Well, here it is. It's collaborative learning. This is what's different. So she's asking them questions, the who, what, when, where, why questions, the ones that require a response, require some thought, require some reflection, and her people that are part of it, they're coming in and they're putting their thoughts in there. Well, Kate goes back before that call on that Wednesday, and we were talking about earlier this week. She has people. Some people take it on Sunday. Some people take it Monday morning. People have their time when they actually now are into a routine of when they go in and they take the experience leading to that Wednesday call, which I think is great. Well, Kate also goes in on Wednesday mornings and she reviews everybody's answers because when people get on the call, she's leading the call, but now she has answers and different things that people have put in there because everybody's answer is important, not just Kate's video, not just the things she writes in there. It's everybody that's involved in that experience is important to that experience. So it becomes collaborative, and then they're on the call and everybody's involved in talking in that call. Everybody's involved in that experience. And
Well, and
that's
not only
what
Kate, Matt,
works.
not only Kate knows what was said or what was written or what was talked about, but everybody else also knows. So now when they're on the call, they all have discussion points. They
Correct.
know what they took from the passage, the verse, the book, the chapter, whatever they read, but now they know what everybody else took. So they're learning from each other. And I can guarantee you, because she's told me, Kate's learning from them too.
Absolutely. Because here's the deal. If we have a topic, my answer is not going to be Doc's answer. Doc's answer is not going to be your answer, but I have the opportunity to go. I don't know who wrote it because it's anonymous. I don't know who wrote it, but I had the ability to go back and read those answers too, read everybody's answers. And that's what the students do, or the people going through the thing. They go back and read everybody's answers. And so what ends up happening, I'm reading this answer that Doc wrote. I don't know that it's Doc's answer, but I'm reading it going, I never thought about that. That's a
Time to
great
reflect.
point, right? And then, I'm taking that and when you get to the topic, the underpinning thing about an experience, the whole thing is we're trying to teach people critical thinking skills. We're trying to teach
Yeah.
people how to think differently. So, for example, I use this example all the time. The three of us, we're all parents, right? We all have parents, and the three of us, we all have daughters, right? So, it's like us sitting around and three dads sitting around going, hey, if you were in this situation with your daughter, how would you handle it? Well, my daughters are 24 and 20. How old are your daughters, Jeff?
15 is it? Well, almost 15 and almost 16,
All
14 and
right.
15.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And how old's your daughter, Doc?
She'll be 14 in April, going on 37.
Exactly. So we're going to come at those answers differently based off of our experience. And that's what Convene allows you to do. It allows you to share based off of your experience. And therefore, we're all learning because I can come back in with older daughters and say, hey, I've been there. This is what I did right. This is what I did wrong. Take it and for what
Right.
it's worth.
So what all four of these, and I have four other names I'm going to get to here in a little bit, but what all four that I just mentioned, Kate, Laurel, Lisa, and Josh, are creating is one, a hub for engagement,
Sure.
right? But not just engagement, they're going beyond the interactions, just your normal, typical interactions,
Yeah.
where it's planned and beforehand. Here's the content. Here's what I want people to read, or whatever the case is, or watch the video. Let's all learn for it. Take a time to reflect on it, and then Kate's doing a great job, and they all have a version of it. Excuse me, of getting on calls with the members and now learning from each other and going beyond all that just back and forth engagement.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's working.
So
It's working. And
yeah,
like Kate said, she said, I've grown so much, with her faith from their answers, learning from their answers. It's not just,
yeah,
again, it's not just about Kate using her
yeah,
as an
yeah.
example.
Well, let's go from and it all kind of goes together, right? Community-centered approach, and then we talked about the collaborative ecosystem, and that goes together.
Mhm.
But then, number three, and Doc, if you want to put that slide up, the mentorship programs,
Yeah.
right? The mentorship and franchise programs and models.
Yeah.
And just tell us a couple of our leaders, our group and community leaders that are really doing a good job with it.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about Laurel more
Hmm.
specifically. And by the way, Laurel will be the guest next week with Doc, and she's bringing in some of now. It won't be you won't be on, I won't be on. It'll be Doc with Laurel and some of her doulas,
And maybe
and
their microphones will work properly.
exactly. And so they have she'll have the floor, to talk about and to introduce some of her people that are doing great things. A death doula. I had no idea what a death doula was when Laurel came in. It was foreign to me, but she basically is a faith-based death doula. And she's teaching people how to help when somebody's going through that end of life
There
process.
she is.
Yes,
Hmm.
yeah. There she is. Hi, Laurel. So, but Laurel, when Laurel first came to me and we first started working, and I'm going to call her HMD. I call her the high maintenance doula because it's been a lot of work working with Laurel. No, but I'm just joking. But the deal is, when she first came, she wanted to create modules. She wanted to create 2 courses to certify her death doulas in how to become a death doula, how to work with families and how to work with individuals in that process. She wasn't thinking out of the box. So here's my question is, well, what do you do with your death doulas once you've helped them become certified death doulas? How are they going to grow their business? So, what Laurel has been able to do, one, is she's created that mentorship and that teaching program where
Hmm.
she's teaching them. They're going through her content and going through her modules to become death doulas, and they're collaborating with each other and learning from each other. But then she's also setting them up to run their own death doula business
Right.
inside of the end of life death doula community. Now, she's doing that in a way of she's creating leaders in this community, and the goal is to have not just in all, we're going to go with the topic will be the 50 states, all 50 states. Her goal is to have um, death doulas in all 50 states, but now she has state leaders. Like I have community
Hmm.
leaders. Laurel's a community leader. Now she will be creating state leaders, and she will be teaching these state leaders how to grow death doulas and or a listing of death doulas within all the states and how to lead their states. So she's teaching them how to take what she's doing and how to go down. Well, she's already created the content. She just gets them and their people. They refer her to the content. She pays a referral fee back to them for their people coming to the content. So they're making money. And now she's building that registry. That's the word I was looking for. A registry
Hmm.
of state of death doulas within each state. All right.
Right.
And so now she's putting them now. Laura's from the state of Virginia. And inside of the state of Virginia, yes, Laurel's running the state of Virginia right now. But she has her own Laurel Mar end of life death doula services inside of there.
Hmm.
So now she can work individually with her customers inside of there. For example, I have my own group inside of Laurel's um, thing where she's working with me and my family. So the members are me, my wife, my son, and my 2 daughters are the members inside of that group. And now we're
Hmm.
getting our things in order.
Right.
The little things like password list and little things like all the different things that you wouldn't think of because you just don't know.
Right. You don't
Um,
know until you know.
yeah, you
Yeah.
don't know until you don't,
You
and
don't
then it's
know.
like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's great. So now she's growing a franchise model, but she's allowing everybody to grow with inside of that community. Now, here's the deal. If I just am on your average LMS, I'm going to teach you how to be a death doula. You're going to go out and do your own thing. I'm not growing something that can be scalable. She's
Yeah.
growing McDonald's inside of
Hmm.
there. And so
Yep.
that's you go back to one of your questions that you asked me, how have I seen this scale? This is the biggest thing. These models are what is going to change Convene.
Hmm.
This
Yep.
model, the mentorship and the franchise model, we have so many different organizations that have come to us in the last 2 weeks. last couple of weeks based off of doing just this,
Right.
growing a mentorship in a franchise type
Right.
model.
Well, and it's so exciting to see Laurel putting all of that into place, because I remember 5, 6, 7, 8, whatever years ago, us talking about it on a grease board in your basement.
Yeah.
And, I still have the picture, right? And it's just all the different lines and boxes and everything that we had. That was the concept of not just the franchise model, but, think about it in terms of soccer, in the soccer community, or think about it in terms of the teachers community, or think
It's scalable,
you
Jeff.
you take each state, right? And it doesn't have to be that, you're selling something in each state, but
Yeah.
each and inside the community, you have this state of North Carolina and all the different school systems in it, the state of Michigan, all the different school systems,
Yeah.
whatever the case, and it looks the same and it functions the same, but Laurel's doing it right in terms of the financial and in the mentorship and the leadership part.
Yep.
Whereas in other communities, it's maybe the same model, but more of collaboration and leadership, right?
Right. Yeah, I could go
Yeah,
through all that, and that's
yeah,
in every community is this. Every community
yep,
is a
yep,
mentorship collaboration. If you're a community leader, you're somebody running it, or if you're a group leader, you're still doing the same thing. If I'm teaching somebody, okay, I have a degree in counseling. If I'm teaching somebody how to be a coach, right? I'm going to
mhm,
bring you in. I'm going to take you through my training, and then I'm going to say, okay, let me teach you how to go out and do
mhm,
your own thing.
mhm,
Well, why not do it with inside of a
yep,
community or whatever, and
yep,
it's working.
yep,
It takes this small-minded training, and we've always thought so big. To your point, I remember being down in the basement, writing it up on the board, going
yep,
and doing all this stuff, and, you have to think differently. That's the problem. When like, I was on with Amy, and Amy's on here, and calling her out and saying, "You gotta think big. You gotta think if you
mhm,
really wanna be big, you have to think big."
mhm.
And Laurel says the sky is the limit.
That's what I was just gonna
It's
say.
not
Yeah.
just about creating 2 modules to certify people to be death doulas. Think big. Have an abundance mindset, not a scarcity mindset.
Mhm.
Think past what you ever thought was possible. Kate would agree with that. Think past what you ever thought was possible, because guess
Yep.
what? The infrastructure is there. We just have to build a strategy, build a
Yep.
plan, and go out and execute. And
Yep.
I joke with them about being high maintenance and all that, but that's what you and I are here to do. And Eugene, and others. Now Kate's out doing it with Discover You. Now, other people are doing it. Your
Who
your job is to mentor and
who
grow.
did who did you say?
I knew you were gonna say that.
What'd I say?
Who?
He's on here. He's on here.
Oh, Eugene.
No, he's
Eugene.
not.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
it's Matt. You said two words earlier when you were talking about Laurel and her community, and you've sort of circled those two words previously, and then you mentioned talking with Amy, and then you mentioned Eugene, and I got two others, Brenda and Mel, that I'm going to talk about, or that I'm going to mention. But you said the word creating leaders, and I'm going to
Yeah.
come back to those two words in a little bit later towards the end of the show. But you said creating leaders,
Yeah.
and to me, that's what part of the vision has always been,
Yeah.
right? Of for community, the leaders, for the community leaders, the group leaders, is create other leaders. And Amy's going to start doing it and taking off with the teacher tribe. Mel's doing it with her members in her groups. Brenda, dear God, do we need to mention Brenda? Because man, she will create a leader in about
No,
8 seconds,
absolutely. That's
right?
Brenda is the leader creator.
That's
And
right.
she's a
And then
gunny in the Marine Corps.
yeah,
That's what
and
gunnies
then
do.
and then Eugene,
I
the same
yet
thing. Because in that basement, it was me, you, and Eugene. And Eugene will probably giggle about this, and you'll laugh about it too. But on that board, I remember Eugene going, "You bring in one person, and they bring in two. They bring in two, and now you got." And he
Yeah.
ended up at 700,000 or whatever it was. He just kept writing down the board,
Yeah.
thinking big and creating leaders.
Yeah.
it's funny. That's what I do with my kids' Halloween candy on Halloween.
Exactly.
One for you, two for me.
Yeah, exactly. No, you're so
Yeah,
right. You're
yeah,
so right, and that's the way you have to think. And it's so funny because Amy and I were on earlier today, and I was talking to her about leadership, right, going into leadership, and so Amy was new to Convene, so she didn't come to Convene 23 last year. So she didn't see Vince speak. If you go back, and I'm going to put this out for everybody. And actually, Amy said, "Do you think Vince will come on and do this?" So I'm going to get Vince to come on the podcast in a couple weeks. And she said, "You think he'll come on and do it?" But I went and pulled up Vince's video, and it was crazy how I pulled up Vince's video, and I just moved the cursor over. And Amy will attest to this. Where I started it, it's Vince said, and Vince, for everybody watching, Vince was in the Marine Corps with me, one of my best friends in the world, one of my mentors, right? He's one of the smartest people I know. Where I hit play, he said, "Hey, I'm not the smartest guy in the room, but I know how to surround myself with people that are smarter than me. And I'll go break down the door, and then I'll let them lead and let them make something special happen." And that's it. Come on. Look, I'm from North Carolina, right? I'm a helicopter pilot from North Carolina. And I know that for me to be successful doing this, I have to surround myself with all of you. You guys are smarter than me. You guys have all these great ideas. It's not about me, but that's exactly where we went to in that video. Learn how to lead. A leader doesn't have to be the smartest guy in the room.
No.
A leader just has to lead and say, pick up the flag and say, "Let's go, follow me." And that's what we want to build, Jeff. That's what you're talking about.
Yep.
We want to build people that have a vision and have something that they think that they can do, and then create that strategy to go forward and have people follow them.
Yeah.
Right.
A
And if
leader
they're
works.
following and they're leading past you, good to go. They're only making you better.
A leader may bring people to whatever the function, whatever they want done. But my coach gave this to me, Coach Fry, when I was in college, and I still have it, and I give it to my team captains almost every year. And I'll sum it up, but essentially, it was a story about bringing people to help dig a hole, and instead of just standing there, everybody finally looked around, and the dirtiest person was the guy that brought them all there, because he was the one working the hardest, right?
Yeah.
Showing them how to do it, but also allowing them to do it with them, right, and making them feel as a part of the purpose. And I think that's exactly what's being built, not only in Convene communities, but in every community, every group, with the leaders
Absolutely.
that we have. So Matt, you mentioned Convene 23.
Yeah.
It's 2024.
It is
Oh,
2024.
wow, look at that.
It is 2024.
It is
And
2024.
I got a request, so I'm doing it real quick. So give me like 5 seconds to do this, because I'm pretty quick on this. And I'm going to get that thing, and I'm going to send it over here to Doc. But we're going to put the link, Vince's video, inside
that's a great idea.
inside of the chat. So if you're watching and you want to go watch at Convene 23, you want to watch Vince talk about it, go watch this. And again, like I said, he's one of the smartest people that I know. Coming at you to your email, Doc. He's one of the smartest people that I know. Vince is, and he just makes you want to, like Amy said. She said, when I came into Convene, I never saw myself as a leader, and she says, I am a leader now. And I'm telling you, that's all of us are leaders. You just have to believe in yourself, and that's what Vince, is able to talk about when he talks about it. And that's what we want. We want people to think past that, what they're doing. Yeah, we're all leaders. We can all do something. So Convene 24, we're going to go. We got really good at virtual events during COVID, right? And so we're going to go back and we're going to do a virtual event with a live event, a live Convene 24 coming in the fall. We have a great lady, Nicole Justice, who's our event planner. We're working on it. So that live event is coming. It's going to be wonderful, and it's going to blow what we did for Convene 23 away. Convene 23 was awesome. But speaking of events, I believe we all want to get on that stage. If you're a content creator, you want to be on the stage. You want to tell your story. And we're going to give people that stage to tell their story.
Matt, I put the link in the room in the chat. However, you're not allowed to watch it until after the show's over.
Don't start watching it now. Good call. I like that. All of a sudden, our viewership will go way down because people are watching Vince. And we will have events on. But Convene 24, it's going to happen February 24th. It is going to be a live streamed event. It's a free event. It's going to be live streamed just like this. Doc is gracious enough. He's going to come on and he's going to be there and be part of it. And he's going to help us put this event on so people can see who we are. So we're going to get into the mechanics of Convene. Go ahead and pull the schedule up, Doc, if you don't mind. We'll be talking about the mechanics of Convene. So we're going to introduce what Convene is. We're going to talk about how people are succeeding. And then we're going to have Lisa Herring. And Lisa does things, I'll touch on a little bit. Lisa does things differently than, one of the great things is Lisa has a course that she created a couple years ago, and she uses the discussion board masterfully. She used to do a lot of one-on-one sessions, a lot of Zoom time. She does none of that anymore. And like I told you, everybody, she kills it. She makes the most money of anybody on the site, and she manages it all through Convene. So she's going to, the discussion board, she's going to talk about that. We'll take a break.
Yep.
Then we're going to
Lisa's awesome because you know how we always like to say that you don't need to be an expert. You just have to have expertise. Well, Lisa's got both.
Yeah, absolutely.
She's got both.
Then I'm going to actually be showing people what is the site, how does it work. We're actually going to build a group and all that, a group page, information page, show blogs and stuff like that. Then we'll have Kate come on and she'll be talking about some of the stuff she's doing. Specifically, I've asked her, I really want to talk about the mentorship program that she's taken the Convene platform professional and she's taken it to a whole new level because she's working with an organization called Discover You, building that mentorship program. So I have her cover some of the stuff she's doing. And I think people are going to come into Convene. They're going to become a platform professional, and they're going to have their business just teaching people how to use Convene and coaching people through the process. Take a break. Then the one that we're talking about, we're going to have the Brenda Warren come on and talking about leveraging impact for entrepreneurs. And she's going to.
Sure 15 minutes is going to be long enough?
Yeah, be rested up for that 15
That's
minutes.
Right.
That's a power
Catch your
pack.
breath.
15 minutes. You're going to get up and you're going to run through your wall when she's done. You're going to just get up, sprint, run through the wall, put a hole in it, then you're going to have to fix it. But that's what Brenda will. That's what Brenda will do. She'll make you. Yeah, but that's what we need, right? We need people who are fired up, can teach people how to be entrepreneurs and all that, and that's what she does. She's really good at it, and all kinds of. She can talk to you about the different things, marketing, talk to you about writing books. She has her own publishing company and all those different things. It's just wonderful. We'll take a break. Again, strategy of growth. You can't grow anything, Jeff, if you don't have a strategy to grow.
That's right.
That's where people come in to Convene. That's where you come in and people work with me and all that, because people come in and they have a great idea. They're very passionate about it. They have a story. So I have a great story. They don't have a strategy, right? So you have to come up with a strategy. Again, going back to some of the people that we're talking about that are very successful in Convene, everybody has spent a lot of time with me coming up and talking about their strategy. And that is key. You get your strategy, you build around your strategy, and then you grow that strategy out. But you got to go through that. Take a break. We'll talk about leveraging the system and how to make money. The platform, once you understand how you make money with Convene and how you can through referral fees and helping each other grow. That's really what we do. We get, people offer referral fees. So you go out and you help each other grow. Hey, you're my son's first college soccer coach, and you're a soccer coach. So if you have a course in there about teaching somebody how to play soccer, for example, I'm just making that up, but it makes sense for me to refer people over to you to go take your course because I'm not a soccer coach like you. That's a lie because I was the 2012
Easy with the
North Carolina.
trophy. Easy
I
with the
was the
trophy.
2012 girls coach of
Here
the
we
year,
go.
state of North Carolina. Anyway, that's a side note. But then we're going to have Dr. Mel. And Dr. Mel is helping people. She's a licensed physical therapist, a doctor, and she helps people with inside of her community with yoga, with other things, but she also has individual groups where she has individual clients where she is helping people through the physical therapy thing. Brenda on the call earlier, Brenda was thanking her because some of the exercises that, she's been able to give Brenda has really helped Brenda's lower back pain and hip and all that. She will be now. She's going to earn her keep next week because everybody knows on Monday I'm getting my hip replaced because I'm an old freaking man. And now she's really going to have to step up her game because if she can,
Throwing out the sympathy card already.
I know.
Here we go.
Really old.
Yeah, I am old. Then we're going to have the Eugene Brown come on, and he's going to talk about building a community, traditional community where he is coaching people, but he's teaching people how to trade stocks. And then we'll have the Q&A. And you will be coming on to help me co-host it. I do want to throw that out in the morning. You do have something you have to do in the afternoon. So it'll be me, you, and Doc co-hosting this thing. So it's going to be wonderful. It's going to be a great virtual event. We will be recording all of it. I will be asking Doc to help break it down into videos, as we go. And then we will put it inside, just like we did Convene 23. We'll put it inside the Convene community so people can go back and watch it and be a part of it, And that's a replicatable model that we want to teach people. There's no reason that other communities are not running their own virtual events like this. You want to be doing it. We'll talk about it. Brenda's also a master at that as well. But you want to be running your own community's virtual events. It's one thing to come to a Convene virtual event, but run your own community virtual events. And that's it. That's Convene 24. It's going to be virtual. That's not the big event. The big event will be coming. I promise you.
That's right. No, it's going to be exciting. It's going to be a lot of fun to help co-host it and listen to all these great people talk about what's in the future. We know, we've all heard their story. We've seen them on the podcast before of how they got to this point, but now there's a lot of exciting things moving forward. So that's gonna be a lot of fun. So
you guys are all excited, and meanwhile I'm sitting over here thinking, man, it's gonna be a lot of work.
But you're the hero of the whole thing, Doc. Look at the comments over there. Doc rocks. Come on.
Doc rocks.
Exactly.
Rock on.
Let me say something before we get to the next part. Jeff, I want to say something.
Sure.
I mentioned this. We've had really good growth coming on. And I want to mention some of the things, we've talked about a lot of the groups, a lot of people that are here already. But we have some great things coming. Some good organizations coming. Mm-hmm. We have a gentleman named Lee Rousson, who's got an organization where he works with youth as well. And it's called Move Your Chains, for example. He has another organization that will be in there as well that has to do with coaching and everything. But Lee Rousson is a 2-time Super Bowl champion with the New York Giants. So he's coming in to grow mentors. He specifically has a mentorship program to grow down into schools. So it's going to be wonderful. We have a guy named Joe Pellegrino, a 6-7-time author, creating multiple communities in here. One is called Legacy Minded Men. They already have 360 groups worldwide. Now we're given the infrastructure to, again, create more groups, mentor more group leaders, and allow all those groups to have their own space inside of Convene.
Right.
We have Ed Nicholson is coming in to run the music community. And Ed is going to be great. Ed is, has a producer, has been part of a band, teaches people music, how to, play, but not only how to play, but how to connect. And for example, one of his partners that has a class on teaching drumming is the drummer for the Fugees and all that. So that's what we're starting to bring in. We're starting.
I'm excited for that one.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm excited for the music one. I'm terrible at music, but I think it's going to be awesome.
I'm trying to talk Doc into playing us in, every. So it's exciting. So these things are exciting because we're really going to grow. There's a lot more people we'll be connecting to. We have Renee Manfrey, who has a podcast with Doc. He's going to come in and work with entrepreneurs and people on marketing and their branding and all those different things. So there's a lot of exciting things that are on. Renee will be on the podcast, in the next month or so once he's up and running. But a lot of wonderful things are happening. It's just going to keep growing. So I did want to.
That's right. Be sure to check it out every Tuesday night at 8:30 Central Time.
There we go. I like it.
And
Doc,
the podcasting
and
community.
let me start with that.
The podcasting community.
Doc is, if you're out there and you're doing something, you need to be doing a podcast with Doc. Everybody should have a podcast with Doc. He should barely be able to breathe because the service that you provide, Doc, is second to none. It's so easy for me. I show up, and Jeff, you show up. Doc does the hard work, the heavy lifting. We'll put the donate button up here by the end of the show and all that right there. It's coming. Donate, but
Mhm.
also create a show. Create a
Yep.
show. I don't care what community you are. You should be doing a podcast with Doc because that's the idea behind, for example, the mental wellness is that I bring other people.
Wow. Wow.
You see what Kyle said? You're so busy you can barely keep your hair. Oh, that's a
It's
good one.
shaved. It's nice and
Yeah,
clean now. You must have had a
yeah.
little moment today.
No, I like how Miss Bateson said,
Oh,
"You ain't got." There we go.
was that directed? Oh, hurtful? That was hurtful? No, that wasn't hurtful.
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
been bald since I was 3.
yeah. All right. So anyway,
Yeah.
do a podcast.
Yep.
Think out of the box. Grow.
Yep.
And,
Yep.
Why
and
do I feel like this is an episode of Oprah?
it is. Well,
You
everybody.
get a podcast. You get a podcast. You get a podcast.
Exactly. Exactly. I'm trying. I just think it's great.
Yeah.
But it's part of your marketing and branding. And okay.
Did you see what Renee said? He feels like Johnny Cars with me. Yes, sir. You are correct, sir.
Well, it's a good thing this isn't for a podcast for young kids because some of those kids wouldn't even know what's going on with that.
Yeah.
So,
Johnny Carson.
speaking of which, by the way, I wanted to add on to yours. Not just a lot of really big communities coming. We got a lot of smaller little groups coming. Like I mentioned, one of my students was going to put the group together, and Uniquely You, and she's very excited about it. We were talking about it a little bit more today, and she's one of those that's got to put all of her ducks in a row first before she gets it. But a lot of good things coming. So
it's for everybody, Jeff.
it
It's
is.
for everybody. I'm glad you brought
Yeah.
that up. It's not just about the community. It's really about the
Right.
groups. The groups
Yep.
are the bread and butter of this whole thing. And
Yep.
and we want everybody. The ultimate goal, like in some of these groups, is to create leaders down in our youth and mentor them. And like what you're talking about, that's just
Yep.
that's going to be a wonderful group that's going to impact lives that young ladies need to be a part of.
Yep.
Um,
100%. So, and you
yeah,
said those words again, create leaders. And
yeah,
the
create
last little
leaders.
section of the show here is Matt, you've spent the last 12 weeks plus creating some leaders that we just talked about,
Yes.
that we've mentioned in here, right? And you're getting ready to do it again.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
All right. So if you're interested, starting the beginning of February here, I'm going to go through a 12-week course. We're going to do a crash course. We're going to do it in 6 weeks. And if you're on the call, and if you don't mind making a comment, if you've gone through training with me, if you'll make a comment so people can see how don't make any negative comments, but how valuable that training has been. If you're on here and you've gone through it, the time we spent, the strategies that we've created, if you don't mind putting some comments, that'd be great. But this course is, normally to go through that with me, it's $497. There's a coupon code that you can get $200 off. It's accelerator _ 200. But we'll go through it. We'll go into that 6 weeks, and I can promise you, by the time you're walking out of it, you're going to be ready to go.
Are
You
you
do
going to be
your
walking
part.
out of it? Are you
I won't
going
be
to be
walking. I'll
walking out
probably
of
be
it?
sitting in a chair with a hip. This is a perfect time because I'm broken. So I really want to pour into people, and I really want to pour into people and help them, grow over this next little bit. And so
Yeah.
I think it's a good timing. We're going to go through your strategy. We're going to teach you how to use the site, understand the platform, how you can leverage it, and we'll teach you get to marketing your content by the end. And you're going to be off and running by the end. And that's what people need. People need a swift kick to say, let's go. And we're going to put that in place, and we're going to help people through it if it's something that you're interested in. And I do pay a 50%
I was just going to
referral
get
fee.
there. Yeah, just going to
Yeah,
get there.
I pay a 50% referral fee. You refer somebody in using your link, and they pay. You're going to make money from them coming in.
Money.
Yeah. Thanks for putting this up, Doc. But this is, 2 people that have gone through that they wrote testimonials and sent. Kate being one. She just made the comment. I won't read those because I can't read. I don't know how to read. I'm from North Carolina, and I was a Marine. So you can read it. I listen to audiobooks. But
It says, although Matt really helped me out, Jeff and Doc are the true stars of the show. I can't read the rest of it, but that's all I saw. Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
There you go. So, I think that's great, Matt. Going from 12 to 6 weeks, make it a little bit shorter. and really get after it. I think creating leaders is certainly something that is another notch on your belt, if you will.
Yeah.
You know, Convene itself, but you know, you're the top of it, and
Yeah.
creating a lot of great leaders. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So really,
again, that's, if you come in and, if you come in and you really kind of go in and you commit yourself for 6 weeks, that little $297, you'll be making money. By then, look, we got a new hashtag.
oh
It's
no,
taking over the interwebs. Team Doc.
hashtag Team
Team
Doc.
Doc.
Heck yeah.
She spelled bald guy wrong.
Like you can read.
Yeah, that's right. So, hey, Tanya.
Uh,
Yeah.
Let's not
Listen.
forget that bald is beautiful, all right?
That's right. That's
Exactly.
right. So
Exactly.
Matt, I'm gonna end because we only have a few minutes here. I'm gonna end with the question I started you with,
Yep.
and I want, now that you've gone through an hour of explaining a lot and discussing a lot and telling all the new stuff, tell me over the next 6 months, what's your vision for Convene?
Oh, yeah.
Excuse me.
With the people that are coming in, and it's not just the people coming in, let's not say that. It's the people that are here,
Mm-hmm.
and watching the people that are here take the strategies that they've now created and the content they're building. It's a massive way. Brenda Warren is getting ready to change things, change her game, and it's because the plan that she's taking forward. For example, Kate is changing things because working and the strategy that she's created. Amy starting this teacher tribe, and you'll be a big part of that, working with her, and your mom's going to be a part of that too. So I'm so excited about that. So excited, and now there's just,
Rejuvenate the teachers out there. Yep.
man, yeah, exactly. Set them straight. Lead them,
Mm-hmm.
lead them. She's
Mm-hmm.
going to come in and lead,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's exciting to see people just now. It's going to the whole new level. If you look monetarily, we grew by 118% last year monetarily. There's this thing called MRR. It shows the health of your system. That was 317% last year. That was last year. We're going to blow the doors off of those this year, and nobody knows who we are.
Right.
That's the key. Nobody knows who we are. The other thing is we're doing a complete rewrite of the platform and the app. That's all really cool. It's so you're going to have a mobile app by the end of the year. You're going to there's so much that's changing. There's so many places that we're going, and it's exciting to see that also the leaders that are already here and the leaders that are coming.
Mm-hmm.
And once that momentum starts, again, it's not about Matt Kern. It's not about who I bring to the site. It's about the growth collectively as a team. And that's what we are.
Yep.
We're a family here at Convene. We do things different at Convene. We could say it's Convene is a platform with a purpose. And it truly is. We're here to make a difference in people's lives. And that's what
That's right.
everybody's here doing. But yeah,
Yep.
I'm excited. Couldn't be more
Yep.
excited.
Well, one guy making a difference in a lot of people's lives is Doc down there underneath me
Absolutely.
here, underneath us here, and make sure, like you said earlier, go ahead and donate. Help him continue to lead and create all these great podcasts for everybody. Matt, awesome show. I guess 2 weeks from now we'll be back on next week. Doc, you got it. You got the reins with Laurel, and really looking forward to hearing that. So Matt, why don't we let Doc take us out this week?
Doc, you make the last comments here, and then
Well, I'm just dying to do this show next week with Laurel, if you know what I'm saying. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for putting up with my crap. And Matt, good luck on your hysterectomy. I know you said hip earlier, but we all know what's going on there. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you for the support. And most importantly, thank you for your participation in the room tonight. It's been great. Great questions, great comments. And we'll see y'all next week. Bye-bye.
See ya.